our district to give them education on trauma, give them the education on the neurosequential model for education for trauma, teach them about self-care because vicarious trauma or secondary trauma happens when you work with children who've been through those things. And then also to give them the tools so that they can, they're very hungry for more information on how to help their children. They understand they have trauma. They don't necessarily know what to do with behaviors and things that can come along with that. So we're really working on that. We have a therapeutic learning center classroom that went in this year on the Moore School site. We have a classroom that's a pilot for the trauma responsive environments for everyone's program, and that is HCOE. So there's a lot going on in the community to help address this problem, and it's not just going through special ed, this is through general ed. We have a book club at Morris. The teachers have been reading a book on trauma resilience in classrooms, and they want more information. So we're definitely making a difference, and it's because of the support of our leaders in education and in the mental health community that we're able to make changes. So I'll let you all know in the next couple of weeks if we get that going. I'll cross my fingers, so it'll be very helpful. Thank you.
I wanted to mention there's a remarkable film showing in theaters right now. It's also available on Amazon. Moonshine that illustrates just the message that
It's called what?
Moonshine. Moonshine.
Moonshine?
Moonshine.
I'm curious if are there any efforts or any value in connecting the classroom behavioral management strategies with the outcomes of this study? Is there, or is there a conversation related to that?
Yes, significant. Within schools, within classrooms, and not just teachers, but all staff.
John, are there other behaviors like bullying or childhood poverty or absentee parents? Are those factors looked at also?
In terms of the ACEs, when you determine the relationship between that and neglect issues, certainly. And I think one of the keys with the response system that was just mentioned here that we're trying to address here in Canada is it's multiple players. It's kind of like almost a team approach, if you will, to address these issues with children and families. And who can actually get into helping to address those families with some of those issues. Hopefully that will help break some of that cycle too. But yeah, it's not a single solution strategy. It's multiple players and people. One individual 6 months ago said, why do we even need to address that? Well, okay, if we don't, we're just looking at this cost, the social costs, the individual costs, the social costs on that, not addressed. This is a significant piece of our community right now. And there are strategies that can help to address it. And so that's really, it's not a single solution strategy, it's multiple.
It feels very fitting that I'm here this morning to get a little perspective. The women who come to our program for substance abuse treatment, 100% of them have ACEs over 4. I would guess most of them have ACEs of 7 or 8. So it's just as one example of how, the cycle keeps continuing, because our women who had experienced of trauma as kids then not of any intent, but just because of all these factors, then end up having children who have those experiences. So, anything that can help break that cycle is going to help this problem community-wide. There's also the Child Abuse Prevention Coordinating Council in March is doing their annual conference on substance use and trauma in families. I'm the keynote speaker for that, so it's a full day on this topic if anyone is interested. That's in March.
And it's local.
And it's local, yes.
Yes.
I wonder what's being done. You mentioned mentorship and resilience of having relationships there. I did Big Brothers Big Sisters with a woman, and now I'm kind of a auntie to her daughter. But I see this happening generationally, and I know it's a good thing that we go out and do things, but I didn't see any training or anything incorporated in the mentorship program to help mentors understand the impacts of trauma and help break that cycle. And I wonder if there's any programs outside of schools that are working to beat that up so, mentors can really make a difference that way.
Yeah, that's a good question in
Yeah.
terms of,
I think there's lacking there, because I see that.
I'm not familiar if there are any of the other profits or groups here in the community that are providing training on specific mentorship, even Big Brothers Big Sisters. I don't know of any others, maybe somebody else does here.
I mean, I think that there could be, if you're saying that that's part of the anecdote, I think there needs to be beef up that training and awareness, so it's more than, I mean, it's still lovely to go out and have a great day in the park, but there could be more.
Well, this community is a very giving and volunteering community. I mean, some of you have heard of the Decade of Difference, where one part of that is looking at early literacy and financial literacy. And the early literacy and financial literacy, there's 800 community volunteers working on children throughout the county over the last 6 years, 7 years on early literacy. So this community really does have a history of stepping up and supporting and helping to address issues. That's a good point. Yeah, Terry.
Is the elephant in the room Humboldt County's cannabis industry? Pot people living in situations where they think the law doesn't apply to them, I mean everything that goes around that?
I don't know if it's an elephant in the room, but it's an elephant in lots of rooms. I don't know if it's this one. There is some data that shows a relationship between poverty and ACEs and household dysfunctions and unemployment costs. There are some studies that show that connection and relationship. And this community has changed dramatically I grew up here, changed dramatically over the last 30 years, where we were countywide a traditional bell curve, family wage earning, blue collar, middle income sector community. And where that distribution has really shrunk. There still is that middle income sector, but there are more, in terms of percentage, greater number of folks at the lower end, there are some at the upper end. But the whole economic framework and structure of this county has changed dramatically over the last 30 years. And we do see that many of those households that are experiencing these kinds of dysfunctions, yes, they are, many of them are on lower end of the wage scale, but not all. The original ACES study, 70% Caucasian, 70% college educated. So it is distributed throughout the population, not just one sector.
All right, great. Thank you, John. That was an amazing presentation. And we do have a donation for you. The Shoe That Grows is one of our programs. I don't know if you've heard about it, but we will be donating to the Shoe That Grows in your name. So thank you. All right, that gives us a lot to think about. So I'm going to skip over our birthdays and anniversaries, but I will not forget the raffle.
But I will.
New Year.
I'll forget it.
And look, you have your glasses on.
Okay. Pull out a ticket
Make
or two.
someone else read it anyway.
All right. I'm going to read it.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, the first one, last three numbers, 766.
Oh, put it here.
All right.
Step right up.
Didn't you win last week too?
Huh? I was the only one here, so I did win last
What do you got, young man? $5. What? Everybody throw $1 on the table.
You're welcome.
Come on, dig down, don't complain. 782, 782. Why those people are digging, maybe they'll get a little bit of reimbursement. Uh-oh, here we got a winner in the corner. Oh, yeah. All right, thank you.
Great, and January next meeting, Redwood Coast Village will be presenting for us. And then the following meeting, update on the Humboldt School Hydroponics Meal Program. And then final Friday. So that's what we have to look forward to in January. Look forward to seeing you all there. And thank you. I'll give Andrew my quote. Cheers to a new year and another chance for us to get it right. So let's do that this year, shall we? Thank you all.